Do you feel like a lot of the people here are pro the Russian invasion?
I can't really say. I wouldn't think so. I think they're more just kind of pragmatic.
I was in Sydney keeping my eyes peeled for pragmatists. See, that's me right there. But something just felt a touch off. I don't know what it was. I just had this feeling that this so-called rally for peace might have just been a thinly veiled display of solidarity to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And if the signs were any indication, I could well be onto something, which might explain why the police were so eager to pull them down.
Some people from our government have said that sign is not acceptable today. It doesn't say how they win wars, but
It just says it's not offensive.
What are the police saying?
the police are saying it's offensive because it's against our government. The government are against Russia.
Do you think Australia is an enemy of Russia?
We're not an enemy of anybody. You know what I mean? We are Australia. We are a multicultural country. I'm Aboriginal myself. I come from an Indigenous area, you know?
If you're open and you understand and just to think about the world's a massive place, that didn't mean anything. That meant that they end war. They don't. Isn't that a good thing?
Who started this war?
Putin's been invaded. Russia's been invaded. Not Ukraine.
Where has Russia been invaded?
Well, Russia's been invaded by NATO.
Don't acknowledge
They've been
slaughter of innocent people and children and stuff like this, but collateral damage does happen when wars start. And this is something that you can't control. What would you do if old mate had a rifle pointed at your house next door to you? You'd be getting angry, wouldn't you? Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No war with Russia. We don't want war with Russia. Yeah, so we're friends with Russia.
We're not friends with Ukraine?
No.
Why not?
Because creepy Joe Biden supports them with his son Hunter.
It is not a war, it's a military operation. We're all lied to by the media. They do a cleanup of child trafficking, also money laundering, and of course the labs which have been working together with Wuhan. Every war has casualties, and
It is a war or it's a military operation?
well,
When the satanic West sort of, was floundering, Russia's sort of a breath of fresh air.
Like, the reason I'm here is because I'm here for Australian neutrality. What if we end up getting involved in a war with China, in which we're painting targets on our backs, and we end up becoming little more than an aircraft carrier for the United States in this coming war? You know, that's a future that I would like to avoid. So anyone who is raising the topic of Australian neutrality is a friend of mine.
I awoken after the attack on Trump, actually, to tell you the truth, and a movement of Q, where it was teaching you to think for yourself, research for yourself.
The media knows me as a communist, right? But these days, I like to think of myself more as an Australian patriot who has pro-working class beliefs and inclinations.
They invaded Ukraine because of the biolabs, because of the NATO build-up on Russia's borders. The child trafficking, human trafficking, never alone the maternity hospitals. Have a look how many maternity hospitals are there in Ukraine. They sell the babies.
People need to know also the laboratory what was in Ukraine, they've been destroyed. The laboratory was for us, for you, for my grandkids. If people don't know, they should know. They existed. And obviously, as I heard, they've been destroyed. What for?
Kudos to Putin at this present time. Love the guy at the moment, but do I know all his full intentions? No, I don't. I just know he's helping us at the moment. Where we are, Putin is what we need. We need him working against the deep state, We've all got to be in it together. Is it Putin 1? Is it Putin 2? I can't answer them questions. Is Putin a good guy? I don't really know.
Russia actually is not fighting against the Ukraine people. Russia is fighting the Nazi people.
And is Zelensky involved in this neo-Nazi?
Yes, it's million evidence, yes.
But he is Jewish.
Oh, yes, he's Jewish, but he's actually, I can put it this way, he's a puppet. darling. Okay, I'm gonna start crying. And I came here for better life. We don't need to be involved with any war. That's why we are here.
But if there's war crimes going on, if there's bombing of civilians and killing of civilians, we can't do anything?
No, that's the biggest propaganda. No, it's not going that way.
So I drove my mother crazy for how long? Too many years, yeah. So my husband thinks I'm a little bit crazy, but hello. What I've been saying for all these years is starting to come into place.
So who was first out of you two to be awoken?
Oh, me. Yeah, me. And then I hassled her at lunchtime on Saturdays. But anyway.
What about your children? Do you have children?
Oh, yeah, my son, he's over there. He's holding the banner. He's 24, and I have a daughter who thinks I'm a little bit crazy as well. But, hey, time will tell.
I know you're a big supporter of freedom of speech. I know you're a big supporter of freedom of assembly, the right to protest. Are you worried at all that in Russia people aren't allowed to protest or have dissent towards the war?
Yeah, I do. I can see why Putin would do stuff like that because we can't trust our media. Okay, all our Western media. So I think what Putin's doing there is being a little bit smart. You know what I mean? He's stopping the West from getting stuff out of Russia. You know what I mean? So they can't manipulate it, turn it and use it against him. So, you know, I'm not Putin. I can't really answer the question. But if I was Putin, I'd be doing that sort of thing to stop the wicked deep state media getting in and turning all the stories around and selling them back again.
If you were in Russia, do you think you'd be upset that you wouldn't be able to protest?
Would I have a reason to be protesting? I don't live in Russia, so it's a hard one. If things were like it is in Australia, my word, I want a reason to protest.
Putin comes to power and he brings order. He brings some level of discipline to the society. And
do you think that discipline's gone too far? Like, you can't protest in Russia.
Well, that's for the Russian people. I mean, look, I'm not here to say that Russia is good or bad, right? We in Australia belong to a geopolitical alliance that is hostile towards Russia. So what is my obligation? I think that these wars are bad for us. I think it's bad for the West. I think it's bad for Australia. So my obligation in this country is to make us less hostile towards Russia.
I want to know, have a look at that, love. I want to know what's offensive about love. Nothing.
We'll send this video to Russia. I've got to ask this question. What do we think of Putin? This isn't fake news.